Kia ora everyone, Lewis Ferris here with a update to the weather to kick off this new working week. We're going to start here with the satellite and the radar because we do have quite a bit going on this Monday. We have a front moving in. It's going to bring heavy rain along those western coasts of the South Island and very strong northwesterly winds across the Southern Alps and down into those southern and eastern parts of the South Island, which is going to push those temperatures up into the high 20s, maybe even hitting that 30-degree mark along this eastern coast. So, severe weather is going to be happening with this system. Like I said, those orange heavy rain warnings in the western coast. There is a heavy rain watch around Southland and Stewart Island, and those strong wind watches along those eastern coasts of the South Island. And Wellington doesn't miss out on those strong northwesterly winds either. For more details on those, head to MetService.com, but we'll get on with the rest of the forecast. So we can see low pressure system and associated fronts moving up the South Island on this Monday, going to bring that heavy rain and those strong northwesterly winds ahead of the fronts. And we can see as it progresses into Tuesday morning, we're still sitting around the South Island, but we are heading towards the North Island. There is some sort of prefrontal showers or drizzle happening around those central areas. And if we take a look at those morning temperatures, it is going to be pretty warm around, especially the North Island. Those eastern coast, Napier, might not even dip below 20 degrees overnight into Tuesday. Those northwesterly winds are strong and they are also bringing some warm, humid air. So that is going to keep the temperature up across most of the North Island and those northern parts of the South Island. Down south, it does look like some cooler air has arrived, but it is also going to be a bit breezy, a bit cloudy. So not letting those temperatures drop off too low on this Tuesday morning. Now, shooting through the rest of Tuesday, we can see these fronts making their way across the North Island, and it does look like it will bring some rain to those very dry areas, currently areas that are already under drought, but it doesn't look like it's going to be absolutely saving the day. It will provide some respite. We'll get those topsoils maybe a little bit damp. Some areas might see more than others because there is also that risk of thunderstorms with those fronts, and behind the fronts we can see it is looking quite showery around those central parts of the country around the middle or the end of Tuesday. So there is going to be at least some rain making it into those very dry areas. Zooming in to the North Island, so we can see there is already that prefrontal moisture around, but as that front comes in, this provides that best bet to see sort of widespread rain around those very dry areas. It doesn't look like it's really going to last for too long, but in behind it we do have again that shower activity. So there is going to be quite a widespread risk of thunderstorms around the North Island tomorrow. Some places might even see hail. Do check in on your local forecast to get the details around that. But yeah, by the end of Tuesday, we can see that flow has turned to a bit more of a southwesterly, so there is going to be some cooler air coming in, but we can see it's quite patchy, quite showery. So some places might still see some quite heavy falls overnight into Wednesday, but those aren't going to turn up everywhere. Looking at the temperatures, still quite warm, especially in those eastern areas, getting up into those high 20s. Really across the board, looking to be 20s and above. Wellington just hanging on to that 20-degree mark. And again, not going to be too cool overnight because it does look like that wind and that cloud will still be lingering around overnight Tuesday into Wednesday. So these are those Wednesday morning low temperatures. Now heading down to the South Island, Tuesday morning, still a lot of rain on those northern parts of the west coast, but we can see that moving away and we have that southerly pushing up to these eastern coasts. So there is going to be cooler air on the way, a lot cooler on Tuesday than it is going to be on Monday around the majority of the South Island, and we can see those eastern areas getting another burst of rain being pushed in. Some of that rain could be heavy for a time. That will be something to be aware of tomorrow. And we can see by Tuesday evening, there is some clearances. We do have a little bit more cloud hanging around those southern areas, but there is some gaps around that central Otago out to coastal Otago areas. And temperatures are quite a bit cooler, just going for around 15 degrees as the daytime high on Tuesday in Dunedin. The further up we go, it does still look like that 20-degree mark may be reached, but it could see a little bit of a drop, especially overnight. We're going down into the single digits in those Canterbury areas. It does look like the temperature at Mount Cook might get down to being just a slight frost. That 4-degree mark is typically where we can see a little bit of frost turning up. And we'll take a brief look forward into Wednesday. Still quite messy, but we do see a clearance around the South Island as this ridge of high pressure is pushing on. But we do have this low out here, which is going to be directing some moisture into the North Island. And those afternoon showers do look like they could be still patchy, but over quite a large area. It's not like everyone's going to see them, but there does seem to be that risk in the afternoon around the North Island. And by the end of Wednesday, we do still see some moisture lingering around maybe the south and the east of the North Island, but the South Island looking to be a little bit brighter. That's all from me now. For more information, head to MetService.com.